All right, let's start off with a urologist for people's education, okay? Now, this is for men. If you don't ejaculate for 7 weeks, you will either, number one, ejaculate in your sleep, reabsorb the fluids. You do not aggregate 7 weeks worth of ejaculate in some sort of holding chamber. Okay, this is your body has a reproductive system. Understand this. Women do too. This is no secret, people. Second, your testosterone will not be changed in any meaningful way. Okay, so all this panic that's been going on for several years now, it's really been disturbing. I always laugh when I see this. Oh, I'm ejaculating too much. You'll know if you're doing that if you're obsessed with masturbation, which is not good. You're not supposed to be having, anywhere from maybe even 2 or more orgasms. 1 is enough per day. If you have 2, especially with the partner, that's fine. But men have more to lose than women because there's an erection involved and there's also ejaculate, which is composed of semen, sperm, and seminal fluid. So understand that yes, men need more resources, more vitamins, minerals, nutrition in order to keep that up. And it is taxing. And I believe the French call it le petit mortier or something, the little death, right? Because the penis can only handle so much stimulation. This is nothing new. Your body's going to tell you if 2 orgasms a day is too much or 1 is enough. You don't have to have an orgasm every day. Trust your feelings. It's that easy, people. Stop being afraid to have an orgasm. Oh my goodness. Women can have as many orgasms as they want, but even they have a limit. They're like, okay, once is okay. Maybe 2 is okay. They have it easier because they don't have to deal with an erection. They don't have to deal with the fluids. That's it. Stop overcomplicating things, right? So, a urologist is literally telling you right here that there's literally no benefit whatsoever from abstaining sexually. Your body's going to continue to produce and continue to ejaculate because that's its function. It's just like stomach acid, right? You're going to continue producing the stomach acids, which there's like 2 or 3 of them, and then another acid that goes in there to digest food. You're not going to be like, well, let me just fast for a while. Yeah, there's some benefits to fasting. But there's not that many benefits of fasting prolonged, like too long, right? Because you're going to need water and food. So don't fast for like more than a day a week. A day a week is plenty. Or intermittent fasting, where you eat at 12 o'clock noon, like a brunch. So listen to your body. You know when it's full, when you ate too much food, when you overeat. You know when you ate enough, it hits the spot, right? It's not that complicated, people. Okay, I just really wanted to start off the stream this way because there's so many immature people out there who think, oh my goodness, this and that, and they don't even listen to their body. They listen to these immature scientists that spread all this propaganda to put you in a state of fear. Sound familiar? We kind of just went that for like 2 years of that garbage recently from supposed scientists. Those who haven't done any research, enjoy your life of fear. All right, let's move on. Oh my goodness, I really had to drive that home. Unbelievable how much ignorance there is out there on this topic. All right, mental health benefits of masturbation. This is a no-brainer. You should actually know this. You don't need a list. Increases happiness, self-confidence, improves sleep quality, cognitive functioning. I used to be a masturbator. I don't care. I'll admit it. In school, in college, until I found the one. I found the one. And I didn't need to masturbate anymore. Sometimes you do for certain reasons. Maybe you guys are in long-term relationship for a moment, But you come back to each other. There's nothing wrong with it. We're going to go over it. Mutual masturbation is a safe sex option. Okay. That's not ideal because, well, you can do it, but more like a supplement to sex. Relieves stress, increase energy, connection to body, contributes to more pleasure, Pleasurable partnered sex quiets down your internal talk. Right, it calms you down. Extends your lifespan, boosts immunity, dulls pain, and makes you feel good. I mean, oh, look at that. Imagine that. Something so natural actually has benefits. So surprising. Benefits of masturbation in females. Relieves depression. This applies to males too. Strengthens your confidence. Prevents cervical infections. Well, not that part. You get it. You get your common sense. Prevent insomnia. Decreases the risk of heart disease. Helps to build a healthy relationship with your partner. Strengthens the pelvic region. This is a very good benefit into old age, your elder years. So once you leave sex, people, you're going to have all kinds of problems. Improve blood flow in the pelvic region. Oh my goodness, wow. Benefits for our natural urge for sexual release. Imagine that. All right. Create a sense of well-being. Enhance sex with partners physically and emotionally. This one's a little bit different. That's why I put it up here. Help increase the ability to have orgasms. Improve sleep. Provide sexual pleasure for, people without partners. Right, if you're single. Including the elderly. Provide sexual pleasure for people who choose to abstain from sexual activities with another person. Yeah, you can hold it for a while, your urge to masturbate or have sex. And it does build up. I would say 2 to 3 days is enough, but if you want a whole week, okay, fine, have at it. That's more psychological if you want to benefit, because you're like, okay, let's take a break, and then. But ideally, you should have at least once a day. If you can't keep up, that's fine. Just once every other day or once every 2 days. I mean, as long as you're active, for crying out loud. I mean, you're not gonna stop eating, right? What some people do. I've actually personally fasted for 7 days just to find out what happens. 7 days without food and water. 7 days with just water. And I found that I had a little bit more energy, but it's just pretty much forced. It was nonsense. There was no major benefits to fasting for that long. So, you'll have less energy. But wait, there's more benefits, right? Sexual pleasure makes us feel great. Imagine that. All right, masturbation can release sexual tension. That's a very big one. Reduce stress, help you sleep better. So you see all this overlapping. I'm taking from a variety of sources just to prove and hit home the point. Improve your self-esteem and body image. That's new. Help treat sexual problems. That's new. Relieve menstrual cramps and muscle tension. Strengthen muscle tone in your pelvic area and anal areas. Yeah, because, for all elderly folks who can't hold, their urge for bowel movements, well, that's because you stopped having sex, which is actually increases because you're supposed to flex. There's a lot of muscles down there in that pelvic region. It's called I think the pelvic girdle. There's another name for it. When you do the flexes with your sexual parts, it's called, oh my goodness, it's been a while, but Kegels. I call them Kegels, but it sounds like the Kegel dumbbell. Kegels, right? Yes, people, I'm also a sexologist, uncertified. Imagine that. So who wants to live with tension, especially sexual tension? That's why people go online and act like trolls, males and females, because they have sexual tension. Because if they were happy and in love with someone, they wouldn't be trolling at all. Bet. Relieving stress means happiness, because stress kills. If you didn't know that by now, now you know. All right, so here's a horrible lie. Okay, a really horrible, pathetic lie. Women can, look, they say that women can tell whether there's a guy who masturbates or is with a partner. Absolute hogwash. Can I tell if there's a woman who's masturbating in excess or is with a partner? No. This is Disney magic garbage. Total BS. Women cannot tell whether you're alone, masturbating, or how many times you're masturbating, or having sex with other women. They cannot. If you ever hear that nonsense, or about semen retention benefits, now you know that they're all false. Let's move on. Because that moves us on to the great pheromone myth. Yes, it's a myth. I feel sorry for people who actually believed in it. Because it's always something invisible in fake science. Always something you can't see instead of using your own natural logic with that big brain of yours in your skull. All right, let's read this. There's a book, let's see, on pheromones and their application. This is just one example. To chemosensation in mammals by Richard L. Doughty, director of the University of Pennsylvania's Smell and Taste Center in Philadelphia. Are you a director of Smell and Taste Center? I'm not. But this guy sounds logical to me. He argues that the concept of pheromone introduced by, Carlson and Lucia is too simple for mammalian, chemosensory systems, failing to take into account learning and the context dependence on chemosensation. In this book, he is especially critical of human pheromones, arguing that not only are there no definitive studies finding human pheromones, there you go, total hogwash, but that humans lack a functional vomeronasal organ to detect pheromones. Imagine that. I bet nobody even knows about that. Its publication received coverage in the news media, especially concerning its arguments that human pheromones do not exist. Boom. Bam. End of story. Now you're left with either you believe the garbage or you read this guy's book and you use your natural logic that's in your brain. Because it's always that, look at this case, the pathetic invisible pheromone lie, right? It's invisible. So, you're going to believe some scientist who says, you know what, this exists, it's in the air. Oh yeah, buddy, it's in the air. I can really see it. People choose to believe in the most ridiculous things that they just can't even see. You can feel love. That's why love is real, and the soulmate love is real too. You just haven't felt it yet. That's proven to exist. People would literally die for each other in the name of love. That exists. But pheromones, prove it. The myth that only applies to insects, not humans. End of story. Let us move on. An orgasm is an orgasm, okay? This comes from me. All right? Whether you're with a partner or by yourself, they're both sexual releases, okay? If you masturbate, oh my goodness, oh wow, it's an orgasm, people. Get over it. It's self-stimulation, and it can teach you a lot about yourself. If you can't learn to love yourself, if you're scared to touch yourself, you're going to be having problems with your partner. And I feel sorry for you because you're going to make their life a living hell. Because you don't even know how to touch, the power of the touch. You don't know how to sense and, human sensation. You don't know what eroticism is. You don't know what sensuality is because you're too afraid to touch your own body and learn by yourself first. And the saying even goes, you can't help others if you can't even help yourself. Right? That goes for addictions too. How can you possibly speak about curing addictions when you're addicted to something, right? It's hypocritical. So, there you go. Let's move on. My goodness. Learn to appreciate the ability to feel pleasure. Be thankful for your reproductive system. That's what it comes down to. There's so many, unfortunately, in religion especially. Oh, that's taboo. Oh, you're not allowed to do that. Who are they to tell you what you're allowed to do? You're a human being. You weren't born out of the vagina, out of the womb with the book in your hand that says, do this, do that. Use your common sense, people. See, that's the problem. Common sense is dead these days. We're literally living in the apocalypse, the dystopian future of ignorance. Natural, logical ignorance. So be thankful for your reproductive system, for crying out loud. Stop being so scared of the human body. It's so sad these days. People just run the other way when you mention sex. Like literally, they'll just smash into a window or a wall or a door trying to run away from the topic. And that's why they have problems in their lives. They have mental issues, emotional issues, and then they pass it to their partner and they have relationship issues. It all comes back to this. Phobias, ignorance. Don't fight the urge for sexual release, okay? To do so is to deny the body's ability to feel alive. I did a video on this called Masturbation is Natural, okay? I even had a podcast with a guy who's actually for abstaining. and we didn't really get along. We were formal and professional, but we just don't see eye to eye. Because he's making a business out of it. He's actually a coach that'll tell you, did you masturbate? Oh, you gotta punish yourself. See, you relapsed. It's like, wow, dude, listen to your body. Oh no, don't listen to your body because that's bad. So you seriously gonna pay a guy for to tell you that? To tell you that the natural urge is this and that? Nonsense. All right, so this is an undeniable fact. Okay, this comes from me again. Humans were meant to be naked. We were born naked. So don't deny what you are, once again. Okay, so this girl right here has clothing on. Is that the way you were born? No. We are forced to cover ourselves, and then we're forced to behave a certain way. This is the Matrix. Okay? Governments are, democracy is not perfect, people. They're still controlling you, like it or not. The poor are getting poorer, and the rich are getting richer. Let's move on. Learn to be a warrior of love, mature and happy, because only immature people are against sexual pleasure, I'll tell you that much. So, I mean, once again, this comes from a mature person. The immature people out there are just going to be like, oh, love is not important. Let me just continue paying these bills and being stressed and angry and sexually frustrated. Well, that's a lot of wisdom there, buddy. Jeez, what a meaningless life. Life without love is meaningless, I swear. Masturbation is a way to relax, clear your mind, increase your ability to be more sensual. We already went over this. What's wrong with relaxing? And, you touch your body when you apply lotion, when you apply soap, right? Or shampoo. Feels good, right? Hopefully it's organic products, by the way. But just feeling warm water, hot water. That's why people, they go to spas. They go get massages from masseuses, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer, people. So, but touching yourself, giving yourself, because that's what masturbation is. It's kind of like a self-massage, right? It's, I mean, it's just the hypocrisies everywhere these days. Here's your scary photo right here, even though everybody literally came out of the vagina, right? Males and females. The hypocrisy. I'm scared to see a picture of a vagina, even a covered one. What the heck, man? Alright, so masturbation is mutual and necessary. You have no idea what you're missing. By the way, because actually it's supposed to be a surprise in my book, but I go over all of this and so much more in my book, so let me just plug that in, okay? Alright, let's go ahead and move on. Our bodies need to feel loved. Ain't that the truth? So, not shamed. Because if you're going to shame your body for what? For being what it is? Or neglected. You're going to neglect your body's urge for sexual release? Wow. Wow, imagine that. Hey, I'm so hungry I could eat a cow. Oh, let me just not eat. Does that make any sense? Oh, I have the urge to go take a shower because I feel dirty. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that because, that's an extreme thing to do. I'm not gonna kiss my partner because that makes me look. How many stupid examples can I give? All right, so whether you're alone or with the partner, okay, we need to feel loved. So when you get used to touching yourself, you can learn to touch your partner and actually feel. Then you'll start feeling love. See, that's the disconnect. So many people who say love doesn't exist, soulmates don't exist. Because they don't even masturbate. They don't even know what self-pleasure is. So how are they going to know what mutual pleasure is? Losers. Absolute losers. No offense, but they're losing everything in life by not learning how to feel and to give that feeling to someone else. Orgasms, have multiple health benefits. It's the maximum pleasure in this life. Anybody who argues otherwise, like, no, the maximum pleasure is winning a football game and getting the trophy. Oh my goodness, just please shut up. You gotta be ridiculously just fooling around, just messing around with me by saying such a thing. What's another thing that people go for? Oh, everybody knows my name. I'm so famous. Really? Really, guy? That's why you think you're here in this life? That's the maximum pleasure? Nobody can argue that the orgasm, in my humble opinion, is the maximum pleasure if you know actually how to reach it. Right? Not rushed, but enjoy it. every step of the way. It's an art form. Love is an art. So let's get into some lies. Good old little stupid lies. Masturbating while a virgin just makes me feel pathetic. Because you're pathetic. A 25-year-old female, right? This is so out of touch, but let's go over it. I'll save the insults. I don't how to put it into, I don't know how to put it into words, but honestly, I feel pathetic masturbating because you're not letting go. You're not enjoying the experience. You're like, oh, do I know what I'm doing here? Oh, I don't know. This is so scary. Oh my goodness, man. Grow up, right? Real women don't use a vibrator. It's a tool. Use it or lose it. Like technology. I mean, if they didn't invent this, then I just wouldn't use it, right? It's a convenience, if you will. Of course, it's not supposed to replace true love. You're supposed to go find your partner and have natural sex. Of course, vibrators and everything else aren't supposed to replace sex. They seek out men to fulfill their desires. What? Oh, okay, so real women seek out men. Yeah, well, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Don't depend 100% on the vibrator. Still try to find your potential soulmate. It's okay to use a vibrator, though, if you're single. They're just so scared, aren't they? The physical pleasure of sex and the emotional pleasure of a man choosing you. Why would you choose a vibrator over that? You're not. I mean, if you got to find the right one, you can't just rush and say, "Oh, I got a guy who's interested in me, so yeah, let's just start having sex." Do you know that person? You're supposed to become best friends first. That's gonna take a while. So keep that vibrator handy or your fingers handy, okay? There's nothing evil about it. If you like the vibrator, keep the vibrator. My goodness gracious. Everyone in my family who's my age are in relationships that means they're having sex. Not necessarily. It could be a bad relationship that they're in. I mean, you don't know that unless you talk to them. And being fulfilled in ways that masturbating can never do. All right, let's assume everybody's in a relationship in that case and they're happy. What about you? Work on you. Oh, but you can't work on yourself because look at the next stupid line that you wrote. 25-year-old female, I hate myself. That's your freaking problem. You hate yourself. The word hate is so immature. You know, when you disagree with somebody these days, they're like, oh, so you hate this. I didn't say hate. I said I disagree. I mean, they're so drastic and, what is it? Just dramatical. They're so dramatic, just full of immature drama. Look at that line right there. This is exactly what just dispels all of this nonsense. She hates herself. It's like I'm mocking myself for enjoying fake pleasure. That's real pleasure. You just don't know how to enjoy it. Okay, sister? Every time I masturbate, get over it. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is probably daddy issues right here. Or mommy issues. Watching or reading porn. Porn is a tool. There's nothing wrong with porn. The problem is you. You don't know how to use the tool. Right? So never in excess, but it is an instructional tool, if you will. And trying to pleasure myself. See, trying. What did Yoda say? Do not try, do, right? I mean, come on. It's even in movies, for crying out loud. Where's your self-esteem? Where's your courage? Where's your willpower? No, she hates herself. It's just a reminder that it's not the real thing. Of course it's not the real thing, but it's a real thing with you. That's why you hate yourself, because you don't understand self-pleasure. You don't value it. So of course you're not going to find the one, because you don't even know how to value pleasure itself and to appreciate it. No man is going to want you with that attitude. If you're not comfortable touching yourself. And I'll never be truly satisfied. Of course, not with that attitude. This is a loser's mentality. Being a virgin, who cares if you're a virgin? Get rid of that ridiculous word, okay? Either you've had sex before or you haven't yet. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Oh, I lost my V card. I'm not a virgin anymore. Oh, boo-hoo, my life is over. I can't get married now and dress in white. Are you kidding me? Being a virgin in your mid-20s is awful. I understand why most women lose their V cards as teens. No, those because they're rushing into love and they will fail in those relationships, most likely. A teenager doesn't know anything about anything. All right, so there's the masturbation lie right there. From an immature, scared, depressed, lost individual, ultimately a loser. Do not follow this type of loser mentalities, okay? Oh my goodness. Yeah, this stream's intense, isn't it? The proof that we are meant to have orgasms is the natural urge to touch ourselves or with a partner. That's your proof, people. Okay? We're meant to have orgasms. Now, here's a sad part. If you don't have the urge to masturbate or have sex with someone else or to have an orgasm, you got problems. You have severe psychological issues that you need to work on, because life is not about working and paying bills and that's it. I can tell you that much, and I've already said that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next part of this stream, which has to deal with being single, because they're all connected. I'm afraid that being single is making me bitter and angry. Yeah, no surprise there, buddy. Single life leads to depression, anger, sexual frustration, because you don't want to find your soulmate. You don't believe in soulmate, you don't believe in love. Well, guess what? Being single, here we go, means you'll be lonely and uncertain about your future. Ultimately, a state of unhappiness forever. As long as you have that ridiculous loser's mentality that, oh, I'm single, so I'm living la vida loca. You can fool yourself. You can live in denial all you want. Oh, I've had 10 chicks, I had 20, or Mick Jagger, I've had 1,000. I don't care what the number is. You haven't found your soulmate. You don't know what love is. You know what pleasure is. Congrats. But in the end, there's nobody going to be by your side who wants to be by your side, because they used you just as much as you used them. End of story. If you don't find a potential soulmate, you're wasting your life away with countless failed relationships. Think about it. It's the same as prostitution or friends with benefits, right? Being single. You know, if you're trying to find your soulmate when you're single, kudos. Good job. You know, let's see if it's a hit or miss. Move on if it's a miss. It's that easy, right? But you have to know what you're searching for. So how to cope with the loneliness of being single. People are living in denial whenever they promote, oh, I'd rather be single because that way I don't have to do this and that. Continue living in denial, because you're going to be crying yourself to sleep when nobody's looking. That's what that is. Here we go. Living alone is living a life of self-torture. It's almost like a form of abuse, because you don't even care about what love is and the mystery of happiness, right? Until you feel it, it's no longer a mystery. Should be a curiosity by nature. Also, one should never over-masturbate. I just want to toss that in there. Once daily is enough, in my opinion. Forgive yourself if you do it twice, because maybe you're extra lonely. Look, I get it. Just don't overdo it, okay? It's just like alcohol, right? If you want a shot a day, I don't recommend that, but alcohol is not something natural. But let's move on. So appreciate the beauty of the naked body, male and female body, okay? It just comes down to celebrating life itself, because guess what? Newsflash, you're a product of the sperm and the egg, right? Oh, that's so disgusting. Is it? Is it? Are you kidding me? How mature are you? Ask yourself. You're a product of sperm and egg. That's the truth. So naturally, you have a reproductive system that wants to do it all over again. This is the circle of life. Surprise, surprise. So the urge to have an orgasm, even your menstrual cycle for women out there, well, if the egg doesn't get fertilized, guess what? The body has to excrete the old egg, right? The old eggs. And that's why you have, the blood of life exit the body and get renewed. Life is beautiful, people, but if you can't appreciate it, you have a lot to lose in this life. So that pretty much wraps it all up. Let me get, yeah, there we go. So, wet is better than dry. That's a 90s quote.